Today I will go over the issue of anxiety, how to control it. I'm not going to talk about the chronic disorder, chronic anxiety. It has to do more with other issues like your deep depression disorders and further disorders like that. So it's much more has to do with the medical. I will recommend you consulting a doctor in that case. In this format, I will just want to go over a general anxiety form that we all have, which is basically because of the negative thinkings or worrying too much about the future or consistently overthinking about the same scenario, like just over and over again, and thinking if this happens, if that happens, how to control it. So being anxious, curious, how we, what things happen in the future, what's going to happen, the fear of unknown, like how these things are all interlinked somehow. We humans are curious creatures. We want to know about things. I mean, it's our curiosity that has brought us this far. I mean, look around yourself, all these inventions, new ideas, the reason to go in space, the reason to go under the water, to go out there and explore the earth, and all these things out of curiosity. So we want to know about things. We want to know about future. We don't want to mess up the things, right? Now remember one thing, that past causes pain and future causes anxiety. Like we all at some point worry about, like, if you want to start a business, or if you're going to an interview, or if you're going to an exam, or if you have to do a project, like it's a worry thing, right? How are we going to do it? What if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? If that doesn't work out? But thinking about it over and over again and consistently, if you allow that to now affect your daily routine, now that's where it becomes a problem. I mean, you can see the symptoms in your, symptoms like shaking hands. You will see people get mad easily because they're not in a happy mood. They're consistently in a fear. There could be so many reasons. And to identify that, normally it's a you can diagnose yourself looking at your own things. I don't want anyone to go out there and diagnose themselves with an anxiety problem. Consider a doctor. However, this is something that we go through, as we think about our future. And it's very normal. We don't want to go and fail, and the fear of unknown, like how things are going to work out, it all basically puts some sort of ingredient into the main dish of anxiety. So I'm going to talk about it, how to control these things. I mean, there's so many different ways. You can go online, web is full of it. Doctors will tell you different things. If it's a chronic anxiety problem, then I will highly recommend to consult a doctor. And even if you need some medication for the chemical imbalance, is completely fine. Along with that, they also recommend you some exercises, things like that. So those can be very helpful. But here in general anxiety, how to control it? How can we focus on the scenario and not worry about and those feelings? How we catch ourselves, right? So one thing we have to remember, that we are consistently bombarded with thoughts all the time. We are literally, if you're awake and if you're sitting, there are thoughts consistently coming. It's just coming in, right? We don't know how they're coming, but they're coming right there. Now we have a brain, which is the physical part of our body, right? And then we process through it. The mind accepts it, and then we, depending on our mood or how we look at it, we process a certain thought to our brain. Now, if we consistently think about negative things and consistently process that through our brain, it can really affect our emotional state. So how to control anxiety mentally? I mean, we have to understand the thought process, how it comes, and what things we have to process through our brain. It comes with a lot of practice. I mean, all these meditation, yoga, exercises, things like that, the whole purpose of that is to focus, to stop those thoughts, to actually look with it, so you can literally focus and ignore all the remaining thoughts that are coming there, right? Like, don't listen to the noise, they're in the background. So mentally, we have to think about all the things. First, what's causing an anxiety, we can write on a piece of paper. and we can actually start finding solutions to that. Like if we are aware of certain things that we are worried about, right? We can write on a piece of paper, and instead of just consistently thinking about it, we can take in the morning or in the night some time together and sit down and write those things, and then start looking for their solution. Every day you can give yourself an hour, half an hour to think about that particular scenario. In that way, if you catch yourself with those thoughts again during the daytime, you can actually divert your thinking that I will think about it later on in the night, or I will think about it in the morning, because you already know that you're working on them on a piece of paper, you're coming to a solution to that. You don't really have to think about it 24/7 at job, at other places, right? So mentally, we have to recognize how the thought process works and what things, normally when things have happened, like major events have happened in our life, stats shows that you are not going to have that happen again in your life. Most of the major event, like, an earthquake, the entire family, went poof, and then, something else like that happened. All of a sudden, the economy collapsed and the entire business collapsed on top of you. Things like that. So a lot of time, major events that basically cause you all this pain, those are one-time life events. A lot of times they don't repeat themselves, but the thought stays there, and it causes us also anxiety for the future, that what if the same thing happened again? How are we going to deal with it? So we have to understand the thought process again, how it works. We have to come to a solution to that. We have to actually stop those things to process us, and we can train our mind. So mentally, we have to do certain exercises. We have to literally sit down, calm down. Whenever we catch ourselves getting anxious about the things, or we catch ourselves overthinking about the stuff, we can do things like, we have to bring ourselves back to reality, that listen, this is the real time, this is where I am. Breathe. Like, all these exercises will help. So mentally, you have to understand that these thoughts, we really don't have to accept them. We can actually separate them from solution. And once you have recovered the solution, we should tell ourselves that, listen, it's not going to work like that. Like, we have found a solution to that, and I'm not going to think about it again. The other day, I was listening to a mind expert. He actually recommended that we should utter good things in loud voices, because it just increases the probability of that thing happening more. The same thing happened with the negative feelings. When we utter, which we mostly do, like, we don't talk about the good stuff in our life, but we nag about the negative things. And what it does is, like, when we are worried about something and we utter it loud, it increases the chance of those things happening in our lives. I mean, this statement actually matches with law of attraction. When you consistently keep on thinking about some negative scenario, more than likely that will happen to you. So we have to stop our mind from wandering like that. What thoughts we actually process through our brain, we can actually control that by understanding the thought process, how we actually work, what things we actually want to do, what things we don't want to do. We can actually exercise on that. So mentally, it's extremely important how to control anxiety, understand your thought process, do some exercises, surround yourself with positive activity people, because that also helps you mentally. Because if you surround yourself with negative people and you are negative and you're having anxiety, that's also going to increase, your anxious mind. You're going to get more and more furious, and it could be you can go into isolation because you're just so furious. You don't want to do that. You want to understand, you want to surround yourself with positive energy. You want to keep your thought process in control. You want to be in control of what are you putting through your brain, because your brain and your body can be, they're connected. If you are feeling good up there, your body will feel better. And if your body is feeling good, or if your body is feeling bad, for example, you're sick, right? You feel really don't want to really do anything. You kind of like give up there. More than likely we find an excuse. We are not going to do certain things because we are sick, right? So, but if we are happy, so up there, then automatically, our body responds to that because we feel better, we feel good, right? And sometimes our body is feeling really good. And even we are tired, we in mind, like we've been doing mass all night long, but you still want to do it because you feel all this energy coming from it. You went for exercise, you push yourself, you got your things out, and now you recharge your battery. So, and then your mind starts working accordingly because you're feeling better about yourself. So these things are related to each other. Take care of both things, understand how the thought process works and how our mind is connected to that, and we can actually work on both things to stay mentally healthy and active. The second part, physically, how to control anxiety. Now, again, anxiety is caused by consistently thinking of negative thoughts, and they eventually start, interfering our daily life, start interfering our work, personal life, things like that. Physically, what we need to do, we need to keep ourselves busy. I mean, imagine a day at work, sales department or something like that. You have all these clients coming in, right? And you don't even get the chance to think about the problem or about a bill that you have to pay. You might think about it for a second, but we are so busy with people. We are so consistently talking over the phone, emails coming in, things like that. Or a busy day at work when you have a project up there, big presentation and running around and things like that. So we are not really worried about that car payment or the mortgage and things like that. We are literally focused on that agenda that we are working on, right? So physically, we have to stay active. If I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to think about things and think about things and think about things, I mean, how long can one think about things, right? We have to, at some point, start the process. And by doing the physical activity, what happens is, once we start moving towards the task, all those things that are causing us anxiety or the fear of failure, once we accept that, whatever we do, if it works out, if it doesn't work out, if it works out, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna move to the next step. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna learn the lesson and still move to the next step and fix it to the way where I can reach my goal. So physically, we have to keep ourselves engaged in different tasks. When we don't have time to think about these negative things, when we don't, and we are actually engaged in our life, in the morning, if you make a routine, like between 10 and 12, I'm going to do this, 1 and 3, I'm going to do this, 3 and 5, I'm going to do this, 6 and 7, I'm going to do this, and from 9 to 10, I'm going to think about all my issues that I have, and I'm going to try to find a solution to it, right? Now, during those work, and if we just jump from one task to another task and consistently go on completion of those, right? Even if the thoughts come in the mind, we already told ourselves, listen, I'm going to think about it later on. I don't have time for it right now. I need to finish these tasks. More than likely, once we train our mind, it doesn't even happen. Like it started becoming less and less and less. But going through the task keeps us engaged. Instead of thinking and sitting and just being worried about it, and just finding people that we can actually talk and become more negative, we should instead work on our physical activities, go for exercise, go for a walk, go for swimmings, go out to nature, like go on a mountain for a hike. Like it always helps. Nature, connecting with nature always helps. You're able to get that energy from the source. So physically, we can do things that will actually help us with our anxious mind. We can keep ourselves engaged in doing tasks, in busy state, exercise, work, some other projects that we want to do. Because if we don't have time to think about things like that, more than likely you're not going to be anxious about it. If you're just consistently doing it, you're consistently going through it, you really don't have time to think about it, right? So physically to deal with anxiety, we have to stay more active and find more and more tasks and keep ourselves busy so we don't get crazy all the time, right? There's no point. It's something that we cannot control. Future, we cannot control. We can only work hard. We can have good intentions. We can make a good plan for it. But if there's still a high probability things might not turn the way we think because our perception is one way, but things could be completely different, right? So we have to be mentally, physically ready for these kind of things instead of fearing about it, instead of, just nagging about it, instead of consistently thinking about it, that something this happened, if that happened, we should accept different scenarios and just move on. The third portion is spiritually. How do we control anxiety spiritually? Now again, coming back to the original topic, what causes us anxiety, right? The thing about the future, the fear, what's going to happen, the fear of unknown, like all these things, right? So we have to think about whenever we get things starts getting really crazy, whenever we get really anxious, whenever we find ourselves in those situations, we have to understand that we have a purpose. We in this world are the chosen ones, right? We didn't have to be here. It could be anything, right? But we are the chosen ones, so there is definitely a purpose for us. We are blessed with so many things: the ability to walk, the ability to see things, the ability to taste, the ability to smell, the ability to touch. Like, all these things are blessings, right? So the Creator took us this far, right? All the way from the childhood, from earlier age to this age to this age to this age. So having good faith, having good belief that good things are going to happen to us is a part of us. Like, that also helps us control anxiety. When we get rid of the fear, when we believe that the Creator is going to take care of us, like whatever is going to happen, and if we do it in the right intentions, if we work hard for it, if we believe in it, then spiritually, we stay more calm. We don't get as anxious as we understand that whatever the results are going to be, I believe that those results, there's something better about those in me. Say, with all the inventors, like, they believe that good things are going to happen to them. We have to spiritually believe in that, like that the higher authority is watching us, like he is going to take care of us, irrelevant of where we live, who we are, how we do things. So each of us is a unique person. We all have a purpose. So spiritually, we can control anxiety by actually having a belief that good things are going to happen to us, instead of worrying about the future, what is going to happen. If we came this far and we had all these achievements and we became so successful, I promise you, good things are going to keep on happening in the future as well. So keep those hopes high, having good intentions, thinking well about yourself, uttering good thoughts, uttering good words out there actually help you believe in positivity. My grandfather was a World War veteran, and he, in my teenagers, like in teenage, early age, I had always had a lot of energy, even now. So back then I was really like always trying to do something, right? Always curious, what is going on? What's going to happen in the future? I couldn't sleep at night. So me and him used to communicate through letters. When I would see him, we'll communicate directly. So I basically, I uttered, this problem to him. I told him that this is what happens to me. I can't sleep at night. I'm so anxious. So he told me something. He was like, you have things in your unconscious mind that more than likely your conscious mind is not accepting. When that happens, and he gave me Freud's example, I guess it's one of his theories that he came with, and he's, when your conscious mind is not accepting what's in your unconscious mind, and we are not aware of it, what is bothering us, it causes us anxiety. We can't pull it out. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We can only hope for best. So what we need to do at those points, what he told me, he's like, you need to calm your heart down. You have to believe that good things are going to happen. He's like, repeat that to yourself out loud, that good things are going to happen to me. Good things are going to happen to me. Good things are going to happen to me. And I saw myself, and I've tried it repeatedly with different people. I mean, it really calms you down. If you focus on that part, if you really think about it, it really calms you down. We have to understand that our mind plays games with us. It's a consistently wandering thing from one place to another place to another place to another place. So we have to, we are very complex with all these emotions, with all these thoughts, with all this processing, with all these energies all around. So we have to, some point we have to separate that. A lot of these negative thoughts are nothing but just a thought, right? How many thoughts you come through every day that this is going to happen to you, or this is going to happen to you, but nothing happens, right? Now, consistently, if you dwell about it, if you consistently talk about it, that this might happen to you, this might happen to you, there's a high probability that will happen to you. So spiritually, we have to believe in higher authority, that everything is going to get better. It's from where we started to where we are going. Just keep our intentions good, and keep faith, believe everything is going to get better. If we are all the way till this point, so again, so successful, good things are going to happen to us in the future as well. So that's a part of spiritual, like how we control our anxiety. These were more of general points talking about all these things, how you can do mentally exercises, physically active, and then spiritually you can believe. If you guys have any questions, we will discuss further. Please send me your questions. You guys can follow me always on Instagram at Always Strong. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Waheed Khan. You can follow me on my Facebook page as well, Waheed Khan and Always Strong. Send me a message, text me with any questions. I'll love to talk to you guys. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.